Welcome to Paradox Jukebox, an unconventional podcast for the unconventional musician. This podcast is brought to you by Music on the Move Studios, a woman-led company working to help musicians move their careers forward through education and live events. I'm your host, Caitie Thompson. Thanks everyone for being here with me. It is officially episode 1, and I am so pumped. And I have to say that this particular podcast has really been a few years in the making because I needed to find the right space and the right people to work with. And I have finally found that, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But I want to talk to you about what is Paradox Jukebox. Like I said in the intro, it is an unconventional podcast. I want to dive deep into so many different facets of the music industry because I want to bring you as much information as possible to help you further your career. I mean, networking and information are how we get to where we want to go. That's how we really shape our goals and figure out what is the next step in our music career. And everybody is in that limbo, right? Especially if you're an independent musician, it's always, what is the next step? What do I have to do next? Okay, what is the next song I write? What is the next performance I try to book? Or, do I actually start looking for management? Do I start looking for representation for all of my songs in my catalog? All of those questions are things that need to get answered, and you need real, honest information coming from people who know what they're talking about and can really, really help you get to that next point. And so that is what Paradox Jukebox is. My life as a musician is completely unconventional. I'm a female in a male-dominated field who also plays male-dominated instruments. I started out on drums and percussion when I was 10 years old, and then, I've been playing lead guitar for about the last decade of my career, which has really opened some amazing doors and opportunities for me. So I'm just here to let all of you know that being unconventional and doing things that don't necessarily follow the mainstream norm is a hell of a lot better way to live your life than to just go along with what is normal and what people expect of you. Because when you start doing things that people don't expect, that's when they actually start to take notice. So something that I would like to do is shed light on a woman who prides herself on creating a space for musicians to lift each other up instead of cut each other down. Her name is Erin McLendon, and she is the founder of Music on the Move Studios, who has brought you this podcast. So I can honestly say that if it weren't for Erin's encouragement and her support, this podcast probably would not be happening. And I am a very, very lucky human to know this woman and to be friends with her and also to work with her on a daily basis. So she's going to introduce you to Music on the Move Studios and what we are all about. Welcome, everybody, to Paradox Jukebox. I am your host, Caitie Thompson, and on the show today, because it is show number 1, we have the founder of Music on the Move Studios, Miss Erin freaking McLendon!
Hey, how's it going?
It is going, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on here. This is episode 1. I'm so excited that we're getting this off the ground. So, Erin, start from the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. Tell me all about how you formed the showcase when it originated at the Exit Inn. Just start from the very tippy top.
It all started on a rainy evening in the fall. That's not true. And already, here we are. Okay, so Music on the Move originally started at Exit Inn, which is an incredibly historic venue in Nashville, Tennessee. It's turning 50 this year, which is awesome. But it started because I was given an opportunity to have a concert at Exit Inn. I had played there before as an opener. I had played benefit concerts, but I had never had a show on my own. And I was kind of like a dog chasing its tail because I was like, gotta get it. And then I got it, and I was like, oh, what now?
What do I do?
I didn't think that far ahead because Exit Inn is a 500 cap venue. And so in my head, I went, I can't bring that many people. At that point in my career, I was like, I can't bring that many people to a show and make it worth it for Exit Inn to open their doors to me and have a show. So what I ended up doing was thinking about my friends who did have people who would come to a show. And that were my two friends, Lexi Larson and Katie Baisden. And Katie Baisden was on The Voice. Lexi Larson has a big following here. She's actually who got me into Mary Kay when I was doing that for such a long time. But I was like, well, this is really cool to have an all-female showcase. And one of my biggest pet peeves about shows with multiple artists is the changeover in between sets, because it just dies. The energy just dies. Like, you can turn on house music, but people are generally going to the bar in between sets, or they're just like piddling around. And then when the next person comes on, you have to build back up that energy. And it's a hassle. So I thought to myself, oh, I'll have a house band. And then a light bulb went off in my head. No, you'll have an all-female house band. I was like, ooh, that's interesting.
I love it.
And then, of course, it kind of snowballed into, okay, well, if I'm going to have a 5-piece house band playing for 5 different artists, how am I going to pay them? And that's how I came up with the idea of the all-female vendors, the pop-up market within the actual venue, because I have a lot of friends who aren't musicians, but they're entrepreneurs and they have their own small businesses. So why not celebrate them too? So that's...
Absolutely.
It all kind of happened by accident and out of necessity. But that's how Music on the Move got formed. And it was a quarterly showcase. It was called Women on Fire. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit. We had a show in January of 2020. The next one was supposed to be April of 2020. And then, of course, the world shut down, which we all know by now what happened with that.
Yep.
So then it formed into a weekly live stream. First on Instagram, and then on Facebook, because Instagram kept crashing. Instagram Live is not a reliable source or a reliable platform. So it was a weekly live stream called Women on Fire Wednesday. It was fun. I got to meet artists from not just, usually when we do these showcases, they're limited to artists in Nashville, but this one got to be national artists. I got to meet people from New York, people from California, Texas, all over the country, really, which was really awesome to experience. And then the world started to open up a little bit, and it turned into the showcase, the monthly showcase it is now at Marathon Music Works in their vestibule. And the reason it changed from Women on Fire to Music on the Move is simply because Women on Fire was already trademarked. In true 2020 fashion, I was just like, screw it, we're just going to pivot and change the name. So here we are, and there's a lot of other things that went into the name Music on the Move. We were originally supposed to have, again, back in 2019, I was given an opportunity to have a TV show that was going to be a talk show style, like Ellen, Jimmy Fallon, Kelly Clarkson, all women, same kind of platform as Music on the Move is now, but they told me Women on Fire doesn't necessarily portray what you want it to when people are scrolling through a television guide. So we have to come up with something else. And I wanted the title, I wanted the thought of like on the move or on fire, like just that momentum in the title. And Music on the Move came to me, and we all agreed on it because we went through so many other names. And I looked it up. It wasn't trademarked. It wasn't copywritten. So I was like, perfect. Everything's getting changed and rebranded to Music on the Move. The TV show is still happening. It's just everything's still kind of shut down right now until the world opens up completely. The studio we were going to shoot in is government funded, and it's the last thing that's going to open up because those TV studios are tiny. But now it's just kind of snowballed into this company that you and I started in February. We kind of started it in the middle of the pandemic, but we officially licensed Music on the Move Studios in February of this year.
Yes, congratulations to us.
Yay, us.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
So that's a very long story as to like where we are now.
Yeah, but I think it's important that everybody know that though. And we did. It's true. We started collaborating together through the pandemic. We discussed the creation of something called Tune Up Tuesdays, which was a power hour of half an hour of vocal lessons with Erin, half an hour of guitar lessons with me. And it just continued to just be this really fun thing that we did weekly for people that were in our orbit. And then before we knew it, we were referring students to each other. And so then basically we merged studios, and now we are all powerful
We are the
beings.
all-powerful Music on the Move Studios founders.
Yes. It's funny to think that I'm a founder of anything. I don't think that I had ever really planned on like building a company like this, but I have to say that Erin is probably one of the more inspirational friends that I have in my life. And I remember one first phrase that I remember coming out of your mouth, let's build an empire. And I'm like, yeah, I can get behind that.
Okay. I'll go get my pencil. I'll go get some paper.
And our paper planners that we're obsessed with.
Y'all don't hate on paper planners. They are color coordinated. There are stickers. There is glitter. It's fabulous.
I have been converted. It is true. I cannot deny this.
You're welcome. Happy Planner, not a sponsor. But it could be.
Absolutely. So now that we're moving into this beautiful spot in our career together where Erin has the showcase in Nashville. We have the lesson studio together, and now we have this amazing podcast that I am so excited about because I'm such a nerd and I love podcasts. But so what I want everybody to know is that all of the artists that get featured on Erin's showcase, they will get a feature spot on the podcast. But not only do we have all of these amazing things going on, we also do webinars where we are bringing in professionals from the music industry to learn you some stuff. And it is all relatively affordable. So not only do we have artists that are going to come on and showcase their, amazing talents, but we have these incredible people that are going to come on and discuss more, from their webinars. They're going to discuss more and get in depth here. Somebody, for example, is Janelle Hawks. I can't wait to have Janelle on this podcast.
She is so smart. And the thing is, she loves, she was actually at my house for dinner the other night because I had her look over a contract for me. And I said, well, how much do I owe you? Because this is a service. She goes, you could just pay me in food. I was like, great, come on over. But she started talking about licensing, and you could just tell, like, that is her passion. That is what she loves. And she even looked at me, she said, sorry, like once I started talking about licensing, like I don't stop. I was like, this is great because the music industry needs people like you who finds all of that fascinating. Because here's the thing, licensing is hard. It is a difficult thing to wrap your head around because it's full of contracts, it's full of numbers, it's full of agreements and splits and shares and publishing and this person and that person, morality clauses and who can they sing it to? It's insane. And she knows and loves that world and she's good at it.
And that's beautiful because it's people like Janelle that give artists like us the information that we need to actually get that stuff done. Because didn't we just say yesterday that we are so much of the creative brains, and thank God for our interns who are the business minded people of our operation, because they're both like, no, do this, and we're like, okay, cool, love it, great.
Right.
We have these two fabulous interns that really keep us sane because we are the crazy creatives, but we're here because we want to give back to a lot of the people that have done nothing but support us. And we want to help and foster students in the music industry so that they actually, get decent information and they're not just surfing YouTube, praying to God that they, kind of like just pick the piece of gold out of, the haystack, I guess.
And you and I have both pursued music as artists and as songwriters for a number of years. I won't give away our age because a lady never tells. I don't know what this British accent is that keeps coming out, but here we are. So I'm going to keep running with it.
It's fine. I'm here for it. I'm present. Go for it. All day.
But you and I have both gone through different journeys as artists and songwriters. And if we had some of the people that we're starting to get and gather in our orbit 10 years ago when we started, who knows where we would be now? It's taken us a long time to figure all of this out. And yes, I did go to school for a degree in music, but I also my emphasis was in the music business. And the sad part is the music industry changes so much that like all the textbooks, you know how you save textbooks from school to refer back to? All of the ones I have are now moot points. They're
right. They're obsolete.
Exactly. There's some things in there that will never change, but there's also some things in there it's like, well, that's changed. Well, that's not relevant. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So these webinars I'm really excited about because we're bringing you everything you didn't know you needed to know as a musician.
Yes.
And we don't just focus on the music industry, but we also focus on being a musician and being a healthy musician. And two of my favorite webinars have been the nutrition webinar and the workout webinar.
Oh my gosh. I know that workout webinar with Monica Addington was incredible.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fantastic. What she did is she gave exercises for vocalists to really help, with breathing. And then she also built up a few exercises for guitarists and working with their wrists and their forearms. So for me, especially, that's huge because I have carpal tunnel. So I have to keep my wrists strong. Otherwise, I can't play and I'm in pain all the time.
Yeah. And I'm somebody who, when I perform, I put my whole body into it. Caitie can attest to it. And
Truth.
I'm always out of breath. So having exercises to where I can actually start enhancing my breath support and my vocal endurance solely because I got on the bike for 30 minutes that morning, or I went running, or I did one of Monica's exercises. It's changed how I do performances, and it's great. So even Caitie and I are learning from these webinars. There's a little bit of selfish interest in these webinars because they're things we want to know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Lord.
I know. No, it's true though. Like I have learned so much. I learned so much from Monica, and then we had Maddie Kraza on for Nutrition for Musicians, and that was fantastic because it really helped give a perspective of how to eat healthy when you're on the road or just when your schedule is crazy. Like if you're a mom and you're also a musician, number one, God bless you, because holy crap. But I mean, it's hard, especially with the kind of lifestyles that we live as musicians. We're always out late, typically, and we're typically around booze, so it's one of those things where if we can at least try to balance what we eat during the day so that we can fuel our performance that evening and have the best show of our lives. See, it just works perfectly because Monica showed Erin how to breathe so she could run around to the stage, and then Maddie showed her how to feel her body so she doesn't keel over halfway through her show. And I was just kind of like sitting there going, I can use all of this. I don't run around on the stage like Erin did, pre-COVID, but I definitely would get into it.
To give you guys an idea of my level of movement, I love watching people like Freddie Mercury or, even Mick Jagger. His movements are so spastic. I'm not quite that much, but the people who you're watching them on stage going, my God, how do they have that much energy? Why are they moving that much? And quite honestly, it's nervous energy, but it's either going to come out in my voice or it's going to come out in my movement. And I'd much rather it come out in my movement than in my voice.
And I'm telling y'all, you've never seen a girl shake a tambourine like Erin McLendon. It's true.
Oh, that'll be the next webinar. How to play tambourine with Erin
yes,
McLendon.
It will. Yep. So just to give you a little tidbit on the level of her tambourine playing, you had to put an ace bandage around your leg so that you didn't bruise yourself, right?
Yeah, I had to wrap the actual tambourine in athletic tape so it would be cushioned. And then I actually I put moleskin, that stuff you put on the bottom of your shoes or in the back of your heel. I put that on my palm.
Yep.
And I tried to tape it, and I couldn't make it look cute. I tried to finagle tambourine gloves for myself. And I couldn't make it work because halfway through the show, I was sweating so much, the moleskin fell off my hand.
Oh, my God.
That happened in real time at one of the shows at Exit In. And I was just like, God, I hope nobody saw that because that looks real gross.
No. It looked like a piece of skin hanging off.
Right. Well, it just
it fell off.
It just fell right off my hand. It slipped out. And I was just like, cool. Awesome. Here we are, and I'm just trying to pretend like it didn't happen in the middle of, I think it was in the middle of either April's song or Catalina's song. Y'all should look up Catalina. She's an incredible artist. She is one of the next episodes coming up because she played one of the Women on Fire's in October of 2019, I believe. Her songs are tambourine heavy, and she's the one who plays tambourine. Mm-hmm. So I'm relieved that I'm not playing tambourine for the upcoming April showcase.
I'm stoked because actually Catalina is going to be on the next showcase, so I'm getting to like rework some of her music again and play through it. But that episode is going to be the next one, so please stay tuned for that. It's fantastic. It was such a fantastic interview. I'm just so elated that she came on and did it, and you'll get to listen to Multifacetica, and all of her links will be in the show notes, just like links for us will be in the show notes. So,
well, I was just going to point out that the artists that we find for Music on the Move showcases, I specifically I handpick them. I won't lie to you. I handpick them myself because they're not just like your typical. And no offense to the thousands of people who have done this, but they didn't just move here to become the next country star. They came here because they had a sound that was their own, and they've honed it, and they have figured it out, and it is unique, and it's special, and that's what we want to showcase. They have a story to tell through their music, and they have a style that you haven't heard before. And that's what I love so much about doing these, is because I get to meet these people. I get to hang out with these people. I get to make music with these people. And it's become this community, just like our studios become a community of people who they just want to be themselves and express themselves through music. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. So thank you for partnering with me on this, because doing it by myself would be horribly boring. 1, 2, wildly overwhelming, and 3, just not as fun as it is now.
Well, I am elated to be partnering with you on Music on the Move Studios and all of the amazing things that we have going on. I'm so thrilled. And you know what's so cool is so many people have been watching on socials about like all of the stuff that we're doing. And I've had friends come up to me and be like, man, you are really doing some neat stuff for your students, and the showcase that's going on in Nashville. Like a lot of Erin and I's regular fans and friends are just super behind what we're doing. And we couldn't be here without them. We couldn't be here without that support. But I can honestly say that there's nobody else that I would have rather entered into this business with other than Erin, because she is a force. She is inspiring as all hell, and she does not know when to quit. She won't take no for an answer. And that's the kind of people that we really need in this business, because she's right. All of these artists that come onto this showcase, they are unique, and there is something different about them. These are not the kind of people that you're just going to hear the same country song on the radio day in and day out. These are people that are putting out real quality artistry, and they need to be heard. And that is why we're doing this.
Absolutely. I know we're trying to wrap up here, but I just want to point out, like, women in the music industry are so, and we have been for so long, we are so overlooked, underestimated, and it's time that stops. It's no secret that I'm a huge feminist, if you haven't picked up on that. But I'm a firm believer in that women, we're not fighting to be better than everyone else. We're just fighting to be treated the same, given the same opportunities, and to be played on the radio just as much as men. Because honestly, I'll tell y'all a story real fast. I was told, I went into a record label. I had a meeting, and the guy talked at me for an hour. Not to me, at me, for an hour. Mansplaining what the industry was. Never mind, I had just graduated from Belmont. I had been working on I hadn't just graduated, but I wasn't too far off. I had been working in the industry for a while at that point. And he looked at me and he said, and you know, we just signed our one girl for the year, so we're tapped out. And that was the moment where I was like, this has to change. This is not okay. I've always been told, if you're a big dreamer, no one's going to care about it more than you are, so just go get it. And I knew that was going to be my path, but I didn't realize that it was going to be the path. It was going to be twice as hard, just because of my gender. And we aren't going to get into a huge feminist rant here, but
We can save that for another episode.
But you guys, the thing I love most about what we're doing with Music on the Move Studios, because we don't just have female students, we have students from all walks of life. And that's wonderful because it's just about the music. But these showcases, when people come and they see just how much energy and community is around all of these people, they get excited. They get inspired. And it's at that point, it's more about just lifting each other up than tearing each other down. And that's how you make it to the top. You don't tear the other person down ahead of you. You keep lifting them up and hope that they will do the same for you. And even if they don't, that's okay.
That's it.
Because if they're not a nice person, they probably won't make it far in this town anyway.
Truth.
Sorry.
That is absolutely true.
That's a bit of a rant. But you guys.
But it's a rant that people need to know and hear.
You guys, I am fired up about what we can do with this company, with this studio, with these showcases. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fantastic. We've already just earmarked 2021 as the best year yet. 2020 aside, that year can die a horrible death and we never have to think about it again. So from here on out, all we do is go up, y'all, and we do it together. So thank you all for listening to this particular episode. We really appreciate you. My name is Caitie Thompson.
My name's Erin McLendon.
Thank you so much. Peace out.
Bye.
All right, there it is, y'all. Episode 1 is in the bag. Thank you so much, Erin, for being here. And thank you, Erin, again, for providing our lovely, lovely theme song, Shakin' in My Boots. Tune in next week when we will have Catalina on the show, and we will feature her song Multifacetica, which is one of my favorites. If you'd like to learn more about us, you can see us at musiconthemovestudios.com/Paradox Jukebox. You can also learn more about me, CaitieThompsonMusic.com, CAITIE, by the way, because I'm weird. And reach out. Shoot me an email. Let me know if there's a topic you'd like me to discuss. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.